Hey, I'm Sam. I'm from Melbourne. I'm a plumber. I've been a plumber for 8 years. Joined the buying online business program in November 2017. Um, and then I did the course. I did all the lessons in about sort of 10 months, I guess it took me to get through the lessons. And then I was actively looking for a business
Yeah.
since then and finally got my first business just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, man. Congratulations. That's awesome, dude. So good.
Yeah, cheers. Yeah, it's sick.
Really pumped. And you've got quite a journey that I want to share that we're going to chat about today anyway. Um, and 8 years far out. So that's the first thing I want to ask you is where were you at in your life before you jumped on and before you started the program? So and then why did you decide to join?
Yeah, so I'm not unhappy with my job, but I was always very inspired by the sort of Instagram traveling people. They're just making money and they're traveling. And I was really interested in it. I saw a lot of things about it and I clicked onto a lot of things, which obviously got me a lot more ads on Facebook. And a lot of it seemed too good to be true. But I just wanted that life and I just wasn't sure how to sort of make it happen. And then I came across your ad, which was to buy an online business, already established online business that was already running and making money and it's already sort of proved itself in the industry. And something about that just stood out to me more. I guess it seemed a bit safer and a bit more real than a lot of the other things that I was seeing. So I went for it.
Yeah, awesome. Awesome. So yeah, it's crazy because there's so many things out there where you can go away and make money online and have the whole laptop lifestyle. And I've seen a lot of people go away and do it, and especially to go away and start a website. Could you imagine now just buying a website, the amount of effort and that it's already working? Could you imagine now the effort that would have gone into actually building one and then still trying to make it work from there? Could you imagine that?
Nah, no way. It would be so much. It would be so much work and so much time and so much frustration. I literally couldn't imagine it.
Yeah,
And
well,
how people like learn to sort of do all that stuff without lessons from anyone, or they just sort of making it up as they go and winging it. Like there would have been a lot of trial and error. It would have been so hard to do. So to have a business that's already been established for nearly 2 years or whatever is saying something about the seller. That's for sure, that they could actually get it up and running and get it to a point that it's worth selling to somebody else. So yeah, it would be hard work.
it's a really good point because most people they say to me, Jared, why would somebody sell a business that's making money? And the thing is, the point is that they've put so much time and effort into it and it's already making money. They probably want to go away and make some money off that investment and reinvest it. It's not that it's like, oh well, the business isn't working. I'm pretty sure you would have seen that from talking to sellers, that the people are actually pretty particular about selling their business because it's kind of like their baby, right? They don't want to give it to somebody to go and ruin. What was your experience with that?
Yeah, it's definitely true that everyone I spoke to um, has always offered a lot of help post sale to help train me if I was to take over the business. They do all want to see their business do really well. They are emotionally attached to it. That's for sure. They just have bigger pictures in their head. That's the reason why they want to sell it.
Yeah, yeah, for
Or
sure.
in my case, it was sort of a completely different story with why they sold it. But I'm sure we'll go into that
Yeah, we'll jump
later.
we'll jump into that for sure, man. So what you were doing, so you're plumbing, right? But before that, what was doing that plumbing before you got started and going, was it going to get you in the position that you really wanted in your life? Were you like, all right, this is cool, I'm happy to just keep to this and stick to this for the rest of my life? Or was it not getting you what you really wanted?
Yeah, no, I wasn't getting me what I wanted at all. So um, I wanted to sort of have the freedom to be able to travel for uh as long as I want, I guess, and have that income still coming in and be able to work at the same time rather than work my ass off and save for ages and then go and spend it all and come back broke and then just have to do it all again. And then not to mention that as well, I'm 26. My back is not in a real good way. Better now because I've been doing my stretches. But yeah, it's not real good. I'm pretty sore and tired all the time. So yeah.
But like obviously like everybody's looking to make money online and have that lifestyle that you're creating, and you're going to have it very, very soon, right? Well, especially now that you got your first business, it's within grasp and it's going to happen. Your plan is to have that, get out of the job pretty soon. But in the beginning, everybody's pretty skeptical, like, how do I make money online? So for you, like initially, what was your biggest like challenge or your biggest fear, should I say, before like working with me? And like, what was holding you back? Like, what was your biggest fear?
Just probably the commitment, I guess, to really want to change my life. Like, you really have to go all in, and something just has to change and shift in the way you see everything, in the way you approach every day, for you to really go all in and just go, like, fuck it, this is what I want, so I'm going to do it. No more pussyfooting around. That was probably the only thing. Like, I wasn't sure if I was sort of ready for that, like, commitment, I guess, or ready to take that challenge, because I knew it was obviously going to be hard and a lot of work, but the rewards are obviously going to be well worth it. But I just wasn't sure if I was ready for it or not. And then eventually I just decided to just do it.
Yeah. And you did, and you went all in. Like, you literally went in all in, and you went as hard as you could, and you ran it up on top and got an awesome result. And I take my hat off to you for that, because like we've been through some challenges of business that were like so close to getting, and then you're like, oh no, this didn't happen because of this and that. And it's like, I mean, that's life, right? We get so close to achieving some things, and then there might be a challenge, but there's always that obstacle. Once we get past it, that's massive growth. And I really take my hat off to you. And so, were there any fears or any like skepticism, or what were you worried about most with working with me? Like, what sort of like, what were you worried about before you decided to start working with me, if that makes sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Just probably if you were legit, because there were so many ads going around, and obviously I was showing interest in a lot of them, which is why I kept seeing them come from different people.
Yeah.
And it's just so hard to tell who's real and who's not. But then now I see, you see some that are like, oh, learn how to make $0 to $90,000 in 90 days on Shopify or something like that. And you can see there, like, you just wouldn't go for somebody like that. So that was probably my fear, was just to know that I was going to get, my value for money for doing this course, and value for time, I guess, for doing this course.
Yeah.
Which I did.
Awesome. I was going to ask you, was it valuable for you, and did you get what you wanted out of it?
Yeah, definitely. Way more than what I was expecting. So yeah, it's been great.
Awesome, man. Awesome. And so that's so many people's like worries, like, oh shit, like, who's this Jared dude? Like, what's he talking about? Who does he think he is? And just really sus. And I can get that, because there are so many people out there, pushing this whole make money online thing. And then those ones that you say, like, make $90,000 in 90 days with just starting from scratch. Like, I know why you didn't go from that, and this is the perception, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's just not realistic.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah. Cool. So you're a bit sus, like, is this legit? And most people are, like, is this Jared Krauss dude? Like, is he legit, or, is he a real person? So can you confirm that I'm like a real person? Like, I'm not plastic, or what?
Yeah, definitely. You're a real person. Jared Krauss is a real person.
It's a weird thing to ask, but this, people have these weird perceptions of the whole internet of like, what's real and what's not real. And I get it
Yeah,
to a
well,
certain extent because there are those things that are a bit sus out there for sure. Hey.
yeah. A lot of people like in the world like just don't trust anyone. They're all skeptical of everyone. But if you don't put, if you just live your life like that, what a shit life you're gonna live. You have to trust some people, and you got to put a bit of faith in some people. So you don't know if you don't give something a go.
I agree. You don't. I mean, you can stay in your comfort zone, but there's no growth happens in that comfort zone. And one of my mentors, he says to me, Jared, the level of trust you have in yourself is the level of trust you have in others. And I was like, wow, that's actually so true. And so if I trust myself enough to make the right decision, I can trust somebody that I work with or whatever it is. So I think that rings true for a lot of people, really.
Yeah. That's cool. I've never heard that before.
So through the program, there have been some challenges, but there's been some awesome successes. Starting out, what were some of the challenges in the program for you, or all the way through the duration of the program? Like, what were some of the challenges that you were faced with?
So from the start, challenges were just probably sticking to a schedule and getting in a good routine. That was pretty hard, I thought. But I'm also my own worst enemy. So even when I was doing bucket loads of work, I still felt like it wasn't enough. So that was sort of what I struggled with consistently through the whole program, was never sort of feeling like I was doing enough or sticking to a good enough schedule with it. But then once I started looking for businesses, then there was a few challenges arise then. Just with like purchasing businesses, going to purchase businesses, not being able to get enough finance. There was a few things. I got outbid on a business.
Let me ask you, because you had this business, was so close to buying it, and now you've got the business that you have now. I believe everything happens for a reason. So are you actually pretty happy that transaction didn't go through, or now that you have that business?
Yeah, definitely. It definitely did happen for a reason. There was a couple of businesses that I wanted when I saw them, and now that I think about it, like the very first one looked great on paper. It was making good money. It was for a good price. But now that I know more about it, it was a drop shipping, print on demand, and a subscription box package. The workload would have been through the roof for doing a full-time job as well. Like I wouldn't have been able to keep up with everything, especially now that I've, sort of worked out how much longer everything takes when you first take over a business, because you're still trying to work out all the little bits and pieces and how to navigate your way around and do everything properly. So everything takes twice as long at the start while you're still getting the hang of everything. So if I was to take over that business, like, then there was another one, the one that I got outbid on. That would have been a lot more easy. That was just a print on demand business, so still quite simple to run, quite easy to run. But then there was obviously the designs that I would have had to, be thinking about all the time as well. So yeah, the business I've got now is a lot more user friendly for a first business, definitely, and it's sort of positioned itself well in where it is over the last 19 months or something. I think it's been running for now. So yeah, I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, it's an awesome buy. And we'll talk about the multiple and all that sort of stuff later on. But whilst we're talking about going through the program, like what's your experience been through the program? Like what's your experience been of the program so far?
Yeah, it's been amazing. So it's been like really big for personal development and personal growth, which was probably, it was consistently happening on the side every day. And it was something that I really noticed massive changes in my life because of that. So not only was like now I think about all the stuff I know about online businesses, whereas 12 months ago I didn't know anything about online business, which is amazing. But then I think about how far I've come in my own personal life with the way I just deal with everything in my life, and the relationships that I have around me, and the person that I am now is completely different since doing the program. And that's probably been my favorite thing of the program, aside from obviously learning online businesses and now owning one, is just, that personal development and how much I've grown. And it's awesome. On top of that too, like everyone else in the program is doing the same thing, and they're all growing personally and learning all this stuff about online businesses. And now I've become quite good mates with a few people from the program as well, which has been awesome too. So
yeah, that's so cool. The community is so great that you are not just growing yourself, but you're on a journey together, and you can give each other feedback. And I know that you guys chat and give each other feedback all the time. You have your own thing going on, which is really, really cool. And you've made some mates, dare I say for life. I would assume for sure they're really, really good people. They say the level of success, or how you show up in the world, determines the level of success you have, which means it's so important to have that growth, to have that mindset of personal development to be able to get to that level. So the level of you have developed yourself personally will show up the level of success you have. And that's why I believe instilling this personal development, as you guys see from the very start, you guys get all this stuff, these things you need to do for personal development. That's why it's absolutely important, because the people that do this well, the personal development stuff, it's very simple. It's not easy. It's very simple. The people that do that well, they're the ones that get the best results. And you would have seen that as well in the program, right, Sam?
Yeah, definitely. And seeing that now, like if I had bought this business 12 months ago, it would be completely different. Like the way I handle myself now is just so much more controlled and like specific or directed or focused, I guess. Like I would have been a lot more all over the place, and a lot more stressed and a lot more overwhelmed and stuff, whereas now I can really just keep moving forward, one foot in front of the other, not get too worked up over anything, and just keep chipping away. And I just have that general attitude to just do the work and trust the process and just get it done.
Yeah, awesome. So good, man. And so working with me and, us jump on the phone and, doing all the stuff that we do, the different types of trainings, like what's one of your favorite things that you've loved about working with me?
Ooh, favorite things. The webinars were great. The webinars are great because because it's a good way to just stay connected all the time. Whereas if you're doing the lessons, like when I first started, the webinar wasn't in, so you can sort of just get lost a bit and sort of pick up or slack off wherever you sort of want, or sort of like lose that connection with you in the group. But with the webinars, that sort of keeps that connection there. And then also well, for me, it's been quite an unlimited amount of phone calls going through businesses, looking at all these different businesses, and I was like sending you my my due diligence reports that I've been drawing up, saying, can you give me some feedback? What am I missing and stuff like that? That's been a massive help, and that was really good. And that's what you're there for, and I knew that, so I was gonna definitely make the most of it. Why wouldn't you?
100%. And I'm glad you did, because you wouldn't be where you're at now if you hadn't have. You would have been sitting in the background wondering, like, is this business right, or what do I need to know about this business? If you didn't have that help from me, I mean, that's what I'm here for, right? Like, and so what would you say to somebody that's thinking about joining the program, like that they may be sitting on the fence, or they're just like thinking about it, or they've seen one of my videos or something like that? What would you say to somebody that's just thinking about it?
Yeah, well, if they're already thinking about it, then definitely do it. Like if you're going to commit to something and you're going to if you're going to commit to something and you want that change in your life, then this is a perfect step to take to make it happen, and I would highly recommend it. But if you're worried about making that change, if you're not sure if you can handle it really, then maybe those sort of people need to stay in their comfort zones, because maybe they're just not there, because it is a lot of work and it's a big commitment, and you need to be willing to change your whole life. But if you are, then go for it, because it's definitely worth it. This program's been perfect.
Yeah, I don't want to work with people that are just going to come in and do things half-assed. Like, I want people that are going to go away and crush it and get results like you have, and some of the other guys as well. So it has to be a win-win. And if they're really sitting on the fence, like I say, like, if you're not committing to this, at least commit to yourself in some way. Otherwise you'll just stay where you're at. Because I get a lot of people like, oh, I just really want to make a massive change, and they go, oh, I can't do it, or all these other things. I'm like, well, I don't care if you don't do my program, but I know that you want to make a change. I think you should at least commit to at least something. Otherwise you're going to be fluffing around, and in 5 years time, you're going to call us up and be like, fuck, I wish I had done this earlier,
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of small steps you can do to start making a difference in your life. You just need a bit of guidance and a bit of direction, and it'll just happen.
Exactly. And so, Sam, you bought a business. Congratulations. How awesome is that?
Yeah.
After all of that.
Woo, thank you.
Yeah, man.
It's been a bloody good ride.
And so, before you got started in all this, and before you bought this business, how much money were you making online?
I wasn't making anything online.
And so now that you got this business, how much are you making from your business roughly per month? Like, I know you got an average, which we always do when we get our due diligence, but how much per month is this business making roughly?
Yeah, so roughly per month, over the last 6 months, it's been making about $3,000 a month.
Awesome, man. How good's that? Going from 0 to 3.
Yeah.
And now you've got a plan to just more. And the way that you, like, we've been talking before this call on how you're going to grow, it's awesome. And so how does that, now that you went from 0 to 3 a month, obviously you work to get there, right? It's not just like click my fingers and I've got it. But how does that actually feel, being in that position?
Yeah, it feels awesome. I remember when I first took over, and then sales started coming in literally straight away, because it's an established business. Like, they just keep ticking over. And it is an awesome feeling. And so I've set up, like, my business bank account and everything now, where everything's going in and out of there. And yeah, it feels really good. It feels like I'm all grown up now.
Mate, you definitely deserve it. You've been through a lot in the program, and you've gone away and crushed it. And I'm so happy for you. And tell us about your first weekend.
Yeah, so the email list has about 6,000 people on there, and the seller's told me, like, he's never really utilised it. He only sends out a sale every public holiday or whatever. And so I was doing some product research just after I took over. They hadn't added some products for a while due to the whole migration process and everything like that. So I wanted to get my own products up there, my own styles. And I know there's been a best-selling product since before I had it. And people have been emailing and DMing and Instagram asking about it and when they were going to get it back. And so I typed in that product in the product list to go to that supplier to find my new products, because I knew obviously that one was good. Maybe the supplier has more that people would like. And when I went into there, I noticed that product had actually been restocked from the supplier, but for whatever reason, it hadn't
shown up in your database,
my Shopify. So yeah, so it still said it was out of stock on my store, even though they were in stock. So I changed all the quantities manually on my store. And then I sent an email to the whole email list. The title, the subject was like, your favorite shades are back or something. And then in the email, there's a picture of the Gwen, they're called. And I wrote, the Gwen have been restocked. Everyone's, really excited, rah-de-rah, offering 10% off, discount codes Gwen10 just for this weekend only. And so I sent it to the email list, put it on Facebook and Instagram, and within 10 minutes after I sent the email out, my phone went ching, got a sale through, and someone had bought 2 Gwen's Sunnies, and straight away I looked on MailChimp. I looked on Shopify, to see if they use the discount code to know if it came from the email or what platform it came from. And sure enough, it was straight from the email. So 10 minutes after I sent it out, they bought 2 pairs. And then that night, I ended up making like $300 on the Friday night just off that one style of Sunnies. So it was great. It was awesome.
How good is that? One Friday, Arvo, just send out an email and make $300.
Oh no, yeah, it was good. Probably took me half an hour to put this email together, and then it was generating sales all weekend. So it was cool.
That's so cool. That's like $600 an hour, right? Isn't it? Like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You get $300. That's so good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a bad rate.
That's good. Well done, man. Well done. And so you bought the business, and when you bought it, they would have said how many hours it takes to run the business. And now that you own the business, obviously you've got some time to learn the business, right? It's going to take 1 to 2 months to really get the processes and the systems down and be really fluent in it. But once you've got that done, outside of like all the growth and stuff that you want to do to run the business, to simply run it, how many hours per week is it going to take you to run it?
Say 6 to 10, probably, depending on how much you were really putting into your ads and your product research and stuff. Because those things, even though they are obviously growing tools by adding new products and styles and running new ads for them and stuff, is a way to grow your business. It's also a way to maintain your business and keep the sales going and keep the customers happy and interested as well. So I'd say 6 to 10.
Awesome. And we can, from there, we can always work out a way to automate that, to have somebody either do your emails or update products, and then maybe you just do the marketing, or maybe we've even talked about somebody, getting somebody to help you with marketing or do it for you. So you can see there's ways to, when you go away and travel, you can have more time on the road rather than on the business. I mean, 6 to 10 hours, that might be 1 day a week, and the rest of the 6 days you could be traveling. So it's pretty, how do you feel about that? Like how does that feel, knowing that you can do that?
Yeah, it's awesome. It feels like it's all really coming together now. Like my dream lifestyle and my goals that I've set to get there are really just getting closer and closer really, really quickly. And I can feel it. I can see it happening right in front of my eyes now. And it is an awesome feeling.
So good. And so tell us about where to from here for you. I mean, what are your plans from here, knowing what you know now and owning a business and all that sort of stuff? What are your plans the next, year to 3 to 5 years sort of thing?
Plans now are to grow the business as much as I can over the next forever. For the next 12 months at least, I want to really be putting in the time to grow the business. My girlfriend and I we talked about moving to Queensland. So our goal is to be able to obviously travel and take the laptop and run the business, and to have that income while we're traveling. So instead of staying in Melbourne in my comfort zone, and trying to grow the business to be earning an income, I financed for the business. So I want to get the finance down, either gone or as low as possible, and to where I'm comfortable at, to be able to travel, and have the business making enough money that we'll both be able to travel. But to get that sort of feel and to get out of our comfort zone and to get the momentum, get it all snowballing, we're going to move to Queensland, maybe hopefully later this year is the plan, just so then we can, move out somewhere new that we haven't been before, we don't know anyone, and that'll really we're already traveling then, you know, even though we're still in the same country. It's not like you don't have to go overseas to start traveling. We're going to get new experiences and we're going to meet new people, and so that's really exciting. Like, I can't wait for that. And then the plan is to have the business paid off in 2 years, and then travel overseas, move around, go wherever we want, go around Australia. In that meantime too, we want it to be earning more money so that we can afford for Jackie to look for a new career or a new job or do a course or something, and be able to, for her to, because she's in an office position at the moment. She works in the city and she doesn't like it. So the plan is to also be able to get her into some training for something that she loves and is more passionate about, while just working part-time on the side. So this should, you know, earn the extra income to sort of cover us there in the meantime. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's really exciting.
That's awesome. And so how does Jackie feel, like, from seeing your growth from just a year ago now to being a business owner? Like, what has Jackie got to say about all this?
Yeah, she's stoked. She's happy as for me and for us. And she tells me all the time that she's proud of me and I'm such a hard worker, and, you know, all the stuff you want to hear.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's really, really happy and excited and looking forward to our future, I guess. We're really building our future together. So it's cool.
Awesome, man. And it's so good. And she's right. You know, I've seen you and I've watched you, and you are a hard worker and you deserve all of this. And I'm so happy that you're doing this with somebody you love. You're doing it with your partner, and you are building a future together, because it's like one thing to change your life, but you're helping, you know, change, you know, your partner's life as well. And then if you guys go away and have a family, you know, you are the person that started this snowball rolling, and you definitely deserve all of it. So yeah, really well done, man. It's awesome to see. So yeah, Jackie's definitely right. You are a hard worker. I can remember when we first started, you were working, and then you were doing, I was like, mate, we're gonna have to get a bit more money saved. And you're like, what do I need to do? And you went and started doing cashies, and then you got on Airtasker, and you're just doing everything, man. And that just shows like ultimate commitment. And can you remember that phase? Like that was hectic for you.
Can I remember it? Yeah. That's why I felt like I was always struggling with my schedule at the start, because I was trying to save money. I had a Holden Vectra sedan, which I started doing my cashies out of, with the back seats down, tools all in it. And I was doing cashies every night of the week, trying to save up money and trying to study at the same time. And it was hectic. It was really full on. But you know, that's what just needed to be done, I guess.
Yeah, and it's that story that, you know, you hear so many people have, is like they're at this position where they're just doing that hectic stuff, like fucking, you know, in a wagon, you know, run around doing cashies, working with somebody else, getting as much money as you can with this car that's like breaking down and stuff. Was that the car that broke down? Or you needed?
Yeah, that's the car. That's the car that blew up. Yeah.
You know, like all the things in the universe just got thrown at you, and you're like, you know, bring it on, and you just came out the other side, and that's really awesome. And now you got your business, and you know, you're crushing it. And we haven't even talked about the multiple yet. So what's normally the return on investment for a business is roughly like 30%, you know, return on investment per year or per annum, which means like what is that, a 30-month multiple or something like that? No, so it's like a 36 month multiple, which means it's going to take roughly about 36 months to get 100% return on your investment. So for you went away and bought this business. How many months with the average return on, or the average monthly income that you're getting, how many months is it going to take for you to get 100% return on your investment?
10 months.
10 months. Isn't that amazing? That's just
so. Yeah. Definitely.
Awesome deal, man. Especially because, you know, you know exactly what to look for, and you know what to break down. You know how to do your research. You know how you do your due diligence. And I can remember saying to you, sometimes, you and I have come like this close. I don't know if anybody knows what a bee's dick is, but it's tiny. But we've come that close to you having a business with multiple businesses. And I can remember saying to you, sometimes the best investments are the ones we don't make. And there's a reason for this, that we don't have that business. There's something that's going to come along. And I had ultimate faith, and I know that you did too. Sometimes it would have been a bit shaky, I could imagine, but I knew there was going to be something that would come along and would be an awesome, Cinderella story like it is now. And you stuck with it, and yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome to see.
Yeah, cheers, definitely. With the due diligence, like you're right, I know how to do the due diligence. I've done due diligence on a lot of businesses now thoroughly, and I've always reported back to you to get feedback, whether I was on the right track or whether I was missing something, which just improved. The next business that I looked at after that would get better and better, and my due diligence would get more in depth. I'd know what I was looking for more, which paid off a lot for this because it was an exchange marketplace business. So I've had to approach the seller for all the information, the access to everything that I need to do the due diligence. And then obviously I had to go through everything really well and really trust my own self and what I knew, and how to do that due diligence to make sure it was okay, because here's this business, it's doing really well, it's selling pretty cheap. Where are the flaws? Like, I really need to find these flaws. And the more I looked into it, the more I just found positives, really. And I had to get to a point where I was comfortable to say, this is good. Like, I've done the work. I know I can do the work, and I've done it, and I'm right, and I know it's good, and it's going to be a worthy investment.
Yeah.
So
it comes back to what I said earlier. The level of trust you have in yourself is the level of trust you have in others. So if you trust yourself to make a right decision, it's a good investment, then you obviously trust that person that built the business the right way, which is really cool to see, right? And so this is the crazy thing that a lot of people might not realize, is that you can start looking at buying an online business, but you've got to do research and due diligence on so many to understand the process. And this goes for everybody that is either in the program or is thinking about joining, is that the real work is in the preparation, and you've done your preparation really, really well. So well done on that. And so all in all, Sam, like you've had this epic journey from, working out of a car as a plumber that blew up and doing cashies in the RV to trying to make as much money to now owning, your first business, making $3,000 a month. All in all, what's your one biggest takeaway or your one best thing from this whole experience?
The best thing from this whole experience. That's an impossible question to answer. There's been obviously so many amazing things. I guess one really big takeaway from this whole experience is, if you're committed to something and you're willing to do something and achieve something, then find the process to do it and implement it, and then trust it, and it will happen. Like, if you know what you want and you know how to get it, then just do the things that are going to get you there, and trust that is going to get you there, because it will, because you're doing those things. Like, it's just has to happen. That's probably been my biggest takeaways. That's literally happened to me, and it's sort of, we've learned about all this stuff towards the start about putting our morning routines into place, and all these little things about our visualizations and everything that just seems like a little thing that you just do every day. And but when you're doing all those little things together, then it just adds up to where you are now. So yeah.
it's really cool to see. So yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. Thank you so much for everything. You've been awesome. You've been awesome. You've been a massive help. You've got me to where I am. Like, before I started this program, I didn't know anything about online business, and I didn't know anything about everything that I know now about mindset and attitude and gratitude and the everything. So yeah,
Big
it's great.
changes. Yeah.
Massive changes.
Awesome, man. Thank you.